Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tawni. I'm just a girl who loves Christian romance and has made it her entire personality. In today's video, I have my little book here of all of the books I read in the month of June. So my June reading wrap up. I read a total of 13 books, so let's get into it. So the first book I read in June was Love and Memories by Mandi Blake. Like all Mandi Blake books, I recommend it. This has amnesia. It has like a strangers to lovers. It has, there's a friend build up within that. And overall, it was just a really, really cute, good, yet suspenseful read. It kept me at the edge of my seat, especially toward the end. And yeah, definitely recommend. I think you'd enjoy it. And then next I have Of Silver and Secrets by Michelle Griep. Now, this book is part of a series. The first book is Of Golden Shadows, and I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoy all Michelle Griep books, but this one actually had more faith, and I like the characters in Of Golden Shadows, but both of these characters were super likable right off the bat. We actually meet Bram in Of Golden Shadows, and as soon as he was introduced, I was like, I really hope he gets his own book. And he does, and he delivered and then some. So definitely recommend this one. Really strong faith and just a great read. Next up, we have Battling Ben by Raneé S. Clark. This was a cute read. It was kind of like a palate cleanser. It was short, so I was able to get through it in a day, and I listened to it, so I did it like during chores, and yeah, it was just a cute read. Next up, we have The Other Sister by Jessica R. Patch. This is an excellent book. I really enjoyed it. It was heavy, it was dark and twisty, but this is definitely one where I will only recommend it to specific audiences. If you want suspense that's fairly light, don't go for this book. If you are into thrillers that are a little bit on the lighter side, don't read this book. But if you are okay with heavier themes, darker themes, and things that will absolutely keep you at the edge of your seat, I do recommend this. I love all of Jessica's books that I've read so far, and I will have to say this is hands down the best thriller I've ever read. Now, again, this is only for people who are okay with darker themes in books. There's no swearing, open door scenes, anything like that, but there's just a lot of heavy and semi-dark things in this. Not semi-dark, pretty dark stuff. But it does have a light thread of faith through it, especially toward the end, and I enjoyed that part of it. And again, I do recommend this to true thriller readers. Next up, we have To Love a Beast by Karen Witemeyer, and this was another palate cleanser that had Christian themes, really good Christian themes, strong, heavy. It was a lighter book. I know that kind of I just contradicted myself, but there was lighter things in it. It was a lighter book, but the faith was heavy. It was strong. It was really good throughout it. It was kind of like a palate cleanser, but with Christian themes, and overall enjoyable, and I definitely recommend it. The next one is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyl and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now, this is a book, I read it because it's a classic, and this is definitely not a go-to genre for me, but it was interesting. It had some twists and turns, and I've seen so many different shows, mostly, that kind of use this as a theme. And I'll be honest, I was very surprised by what the actual story is compared to what I saw in TV shows. But yeah, it was an interesting book. It was actually fairly short as well. I listened to it while I did dishes and stuff, and I'm glad I read it because it's a classic, and I can say that I read it now. The next book is my book, The End Dilemma by me, Tawni Suchy. It is the fifth and final book in the Give a Bookish Girl a Biker series. Obviously, I recommend it. I poured my heart and soul into this book, and I truly had a blast writing it, and I hope it shows in my book. I hope it shows in the story. yeah, so I recommend it. I don't want to go on and on because it's my own book and this isn't the point of my video. So, anyways, I did read this book like 50 times, so definitely wanted to include it. And yeah. And then we have Deadly Christmas Inheritance, also by Jessica R. Patch, from the other sister. This book was Christmas. Christmas had Christmas themes in it, and it was, during Christmas time, but it was really, really good. There was a lot of faith in this book, and I really appreciated that. I always like faith in books, especially like suspense and thrillers, because you kind of need the light of Jesus to, balance everything out. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This one had me at the edge of my seat, and she's excellent at hiding things like red herrings. This book was full of red herrings, as was the other sister. And man, I was on a chase in both of these books. So definitely recommend that one. The next book is Even If You Fall by Molly Barlowe. I absolutely love this book. It's a romantic suspense, closed door romantic suspense with characters who are, especially the female main character, was super lovable right off the bat. Has things she's hiding, and the male main character, Adam, really just, he didn't trust her. And he was kind of right to not trust her, but he didn't trust her for the wrong reasons. But everything comes out and is settled well, and there's a happily ever after. So definitely recommend that one. Okay, and the next book is The Pursuit of Elena Bradford. And this was my first book by Anne H. Gabhart. I'm apologizing if I didn't read that right. This was really good. It's a historical, and it's kind of like sort of a love triangle, but not really. Like, there's mystery in it, and it like kind of reminded me of Michelle Griep and Joanna Davidson Politano sort of feel to it. But it was good. It was interesting, and the mystery definitely kept me guessing. And I was just trying to figure out what all of this was about. And basically, she's at this sort of resort where her mom is trying to fix her up with a husband because they are about ready to go under financially. And so she's trying to get her married off to a well-off man, and she has to get a husband, basically. So you see the pursuit of a couple of different suitors for different reasons. And yeah, it was a really good book. It definitely kept me interested and turning the pages. So definitely recommend that one. And the next book is Spoke Too Soon by Dulcie Dameron. And this this was like a rom-com, forced proximity. He's a pilot and she's like a fashion designer trying to open up her own shop. And just kind of, they had met previously, and she was very bitter toward him because he, like, for reasons. She was very bitter towards him for reasons. And so it was like a neat way for everything to unfold. It was a really sweet romance, a lot of really good tension and chemistry between the characters. Dulcie Dameron delivers on that. And then we have A Name to Remember by Hannah Hood Lucero. This is in the top 5 books that I've read in 2025 so far. It's a YA, so that's typically not my go-to, but I've wanted to read her books. Like, there's so many of her other books that I really want to read and I plan on reading, but this one was just like, it really stood out to me for whatever reason. And man, am I glad I read it. I read this on my Kindle, and then I ordered a signed copy from her because I read it on my Kindle, and then I knew I needed a paperback book of it. And because this is one, like, when I read Kindle books, I struggle to remember to like talk about them. And this is a book that I definitely don't want to forget about because it is so good. The faith is really strong. The romance is so sweet. There's suspense. There's like a mystery element, like everything. I loved everything about this book. It had me in tears, and I've said it here multiple times. I'm not a huge crier when it comes to books, and I was crying, but it was like mostly good tears. Like, it was just so good. Like 100 out of 10 recommend. So definitely check it out if you're in the market for YA. Even if you're not a big YA reader like me, There was so much depth and so many layers to this story that it wasn't just like a light, fluffy YA read. Like, it was good. It was just so deep. Not that light and fluffy books aren't good. They are. They are. But I was in the mood for something a little bit heavier with a little bit more. And this book definitely delivered, and then some. And the last book I read in June was The Interception by MJ Padgett. And this was a really sweet read. It's a sports romance. It's going to be part of an entire series. And I read the first book in the series and I really enjoyed it as well. I really like her writing. She kind of writes like it's lighter, but still deep. And there's still a lot of deep. There's still a lot of like facets to it. So it's not like it's light and fluffy, but it's light and deep, if that makes any sense at all. But yes, I definitely recommend this one. There's a little bit of faith in it, which of course I enjoy. And the sports references are there, but they're not like overbearing if you're not into sports. But yeah, super cute, kind of like a forced proximity. They are in a cooking competition, and yeah, it's just interesting because he's like a big football player and he's like really into cooking, and he's won this contest like 6 years in a row, I think. And she needs this money to try and get her restaurant started. So really cute book, really enjoyed it, and definitely recommend. And I will put when it's going to be released up here because I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But those are all of the books I read in the month of June, and I will also list them in the description so that you can go back and see them. But yeah, really good reading month for me. Like I said, it was 13 books, and I to be honest, like I really powered through a lot of them, and I kind of wish I didn't. Like this month when I'm recording this, July, I'm really trying to take my time with books and savor them a little bit more. And even if that means I don't get through as many, it's not a race. And I kind of promised myself at the beginning of the year that I wouldn't make it a race, and I feel like in June I did. So I definitely want to like relax. And I've still read a couple books already in July, and I've really enjoyed them, but I took my time with them, and I'm happier that way because reading isn't supposed to be a race. It's not a competition. It's just something to enjoy and savor. So, anyways, my little side note there. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.